Washington is preparing to send more troops to help the fight against Islamic State. This in a clear departure from previous policy voiced by the American president numerous times in the past.
I will not put American boots on the ground in Syria. We should not be drawn once more into a long and costly ground war.
Putting boots on the ground, I think, would be a profound mistake.
It will not involve American combat troops fighting on foreign soil. The resolution we've submitted today does not call for the deployment of U.S. ground combat forces to Iraq or Syria.
But dozens of U.S. troops have since been sent to Syria. There are already thousands in Iraq. And the Pentagon now wants to help Baghdad retake a key city from ISIL. RT's Guyane Chichakan now reporting on a potentially changing strategy.
From the U.S. Defense Secretary, we hear that not only is the U.S. sending more troops to fight ISIL in Iraq and in Syria, but it's also calling on its partners to do the same.
I personally reached out to my counterparts in 40 countries around the world in the coalition and asked them to contribute more, in many cases contribute much more to enhancing the fight against ISIL.
I went to ask the State Department if somewhere along the way the administration's plans simply changed.
Would you agree that President Obama's initial plan not to put U.S. boots on the ground to fight ISIL has changed?
So first of all, let me back up. The president has been clear from the very beginning as commander-in-chief that we're not going to fight a large, sustained combat counterinsurgency effort in Iraq or in Syria against ISIL. He never said there was never going to be U.S. boots on the ground. And as a matter of fact, there's more than 3,000 U.S. troops in Iraq right now in a training, advising, and assisting capacity.
3,500 troops and more on their way is not a big ground operation. Do you?
It's not when you consider the scale of the kind of force presence that we had in Iraq up until 2011 and what we had in Afghanistan.
Well, previously, at the height of the Iraq War, the U.S. deployed somewhere around 160,000 troops. So if that is the administration's current point of reference, then maybe even a deployment of 30,000 troops will not be considered a major ground operation. It's really not clear at this point where the boundaries are. The U.S. is sending more troops to fight ISIL in Iraq and in Syria in what the administration calls a small expeditionary force. But then we hear Ash Carter say that U.S. troops may help Iraqi forces regain control of Ramadi. How is it not a major ground combat force? So the administration keeps approving new missions, all while making it sound like there has been no change of plans.
Well, some observers are saying that Washington appears to be dragging its feet when it comes to a serious push to defeat Islamic State.
If Washington really wanted to destroy ISIS, they could do so in a week. The United States has a tremendous amount of power in terms of Air Force, in terms of highly trained and skilled ground forces. If they really wanted to destroy ISIS, they could. But the fact is, they don't. Washington's strategy is not to kill all Islamicists or get rid of people like ISIS. The United States strategy has often been to, in a way, flirt with those forces. They want to use them. And again, this is playing with fire. Washington was interested in funding al-Qaeda in the late 70s. That didn't turn out very well.